This is part 3 reaction video from Dean Clifford, Sovereignty and Remedy with Trust Law. Like I said before, just knowledge is so powerful and so needed that is good to hear it. And then you have to kind of decipher whether it makes sense to you, whether you think it's true, whether it's not. But you got to at least get that particular knowledge from some source. So I think so far this sounds pretty good. Let's get back into it. Let us know where you tuning in from, what city, what state, and let us know how the new year's been treating you.
It's a fiction. It doesn't really exist. So they probably changed in trust law.
It doesn't exist.
It's a goat, right? So the Holy Ghost. Isn't it weird that it's actually called the Holy Ghost? It's a ghost. It's something that doesn't really. It's a fiction. It doesn't really exist. So they probably changed in trust law.
It doesn't exist.
No shit, eh? Yeah. Yeah. So we got this legal fiction over here, or
Think about it. A ghost is form without substance.
it's form without substance, right? But it completes.
That's what a legal fiction is.
That's what a legal fiction is over here. So, trying to think of the proper word to explain that. So, I could explain that better. I'm not going to, because it's been a really long day, and I could get into that more.
While we're on the topic of what we're talking about, we're going to take a break in about 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, safety break. Yeah. So these in trust law, you got the three parties, and if you've ever read the trust handbook, you know that this isn't a very accurate diagram. In trust law, you've got the executor, you got the beneficiary, and you've got the trustee. The trustee is who holds all the property, right? The trustee is the slave. The trustee.
Is the acting fiduciary.
Yeah, that's why they call it even a fiduciary trustee, right? And the trustee is who holds all the property in trust, and they have to obey the instructions of the executor for the benefit of the beneficiary, right? And that's where the trust law and this is getting into why we're having the problems we're having in the courts and the proof we've got of everything that's going on. This I'll explain better another time when I've had a chance to review what I had to go through months ago to come to that conclusion, because it's not all coming to me right now. But either way, all is important, as you know damn well just from the Bible, that the last testament of God is the last will and testament by the testator, he who created the trust, who went away and left us as the executors and beneficiaries of everything he left us. But it's all being held in trust by the trustees, right? And that's what makes the trust law complete, is the fact that the trustee cannot be the executor or the beneficiary, and the beneficiary or executor cannot be a trustee. Period. So what happens is when we're walking into court, and this is all stuff we can elaborate on later. I'm just kind of going through this real quick right now to bring everybody as they have questions later. When walking to court, what's happening, and I've heard every argument on the planet, people told me to walk into court and be the trustee.
Good.
No, you got to walk into court and you got to be the trustee. The trustees hold all the power, right? Like, I mean, there's a million different theories out there, exactly, right? We all know government's the trustees. They're all public servants. They're all public trustees. Every single one of them. They're all the servants. They're the ones that hold all property for the benefit of the executors and the beneficiaries of all these estates. And I'll get into whatever you want about that later.
There's a prisoner with special privileges.
Yeah.
Well, if you err, they offer you correction.
Well, I can make a bunch of arguments on that as well, and I don't believe that at all.
Shout out to the channel that brought this high frequency radio. Salute. I thought it was a great video. I thought it was a good 3-part knowledge. Let's get it.